Dear friends, welcome back to Automate with Rakesh. In this video, we are going to learn how you can integrate ServiceNow using the UiPath integration service. The very first thing we will learn how to integrate ServiceNow using UiPath integration service. Next thing we will see how do you first create. There are chances many people who are watching this video may or may not have a ServiceNow developer account. I'm going to show you how can you open a free developer ServiceNow instance using your email address, and post that I'm going to show you how to create a connection with ServiceNow in UiPath integration service, and also I'll show you a bit of demo on how to use ServiceNow, creating incidents and a couple of things like that. And then I'm also going to show you how to use activities of ServiceNow in UiPath Studio if you wanted to build an automation using ServiceNow, automation on ServiceNow using UiPath Studio, then these activities would help you. So how do you work with these activities? I'm also going to show you. And then how to build a trigger for ServiceNow so that any event happening on ServiceNow, let's say a ticket getting created. If a ticket gets created, you want an automation to kickstart. So how to achieve all of this? Let's get started and see in detail. The very first thing, you open UiPath integration service. Click on this breadcrumb symbol and click on integration service. Once you are integration service, you select which folder of yours where you would like to have the connector. So I'm selecting one of my folder called IT department, and I'm going to hit on connectors and let me search for ServiceNow. And here you can see this is the ServiceNow connector. Click on this. So once you open this particular ServiceNow connector, here you would find something called read documentation. Open that up. So we'll go through the documentation slightly later, but I'm going to show you everything in detail. The very first thing that we need is a ServiceNow account. For that, simply type on your browser ServiceNow free account. And then here you find something called ServiceNow Developers Home. The ServiceNow Developer Program provides the developers with resources to learn, build. So we will open a free account. So click on this particular link which says developer.servicenow.com. Okay, so once this page is open, if this is your very first time wherein you don't have an account, then click on sign up and start building. This is going to ask you a couple of things like your first name, last name, your email address, your country, and you can set a password and go through this entire sign up page and hit on sign up. Soon after you do this, I have already done the sign up, so I cannot redo it. So let me go back to the previous page. And here I'm going to sign in using my email address. Once you sign in, this is how your account would appear with your name. Now here you would have something called start building. So if it is for the very first time you are doing, it will take some time to create an instance for you. So you go through that on-screen instructions. So once that is done, all you have to do is simply click on start building, and there's an arrow. Arrow means there is an instance already created for me. If you are very new, simply click on this start building. It will take few seconds or a minute max, and it will create a free instance for you, cloud instance. Now let me click on this. Let me show you. If you click on this, you can see it has logged into dev164787. This is my instance number. Like that, you would have your own number .servicenow.com. Okay, so I've logged into ServiceNow. Now once you have logged into ServiceNow, if you click on all, and for example you want to create some incidents, so if you type incident, here there's a menu called incidents, and you have the option to click on new and create incidents. Okay, so this is a basic way how you can create an incident. However, our job is very different. We wanted to understand how can I integrate UiPath with ServiceNow. Now let's move back to our integration service. So you have selected the card, and here you have the option called connect to ServiceNow. Hit on connect to ServiceNow. Now what would happen when you do this? it is going to ask you certain inputs so that it can connect. So let me, I think some pop-up got blocked. I'm going to allow. And this is the page that you would see. Connect to ServiceNow, and it is asking for site URL, client ID, and client secret. So how do you get all of this? I'm going to talk in detail. So for this, you have to first have the ServiceNow instance open. So once you are in this page, all you do, click on all and type here plugin. This is the very first step. Type plugin. So once you get inside the plugins, you get this pop-up. You have been redirected to all applications. To see plugins list, click here. I'm going to click on this. Now here there are list of plugins. Now in this plugin, simply type OAuth, means open authentication, OAuth, and hit on enter. By doing that, you would find something called OAuth 2.0. Click on this. So this one will give you a bit of details whether your OAuth for your ServiceNow instance is active or not. Right? This is the very first thing. It has to, the status has to say active. Okay. The implementation of OAuth 2.0 to support token granting and authentication. This has to be active. This is the very first check. After that, click again all and simply say OAuth. So the first one we said plugin, and now we are getting into OAuth, A-U-T-H. Now here there is something called application registry. I'm going to click on application registry. Okay. So once you open application registry, we are going to build a connection for our application. The name itself is application registration. So let us register UiPath in ServiceNow. For that, click on new. And then you have multiple such options here. Out of this option, you will select create an OAuth open authentication API endpoint for external clients. UiPath is an external client, external application. So for this, I'm going to click on the very first link. Okay, so once you click on that, this is the page that you're going to find. I'm going to tell you how to fill this form. The very first thing, you can give a name of your choice. So I'm going to say UiPath integration. I'm going to give a name called UiPath integration. You can give your own name. After that, the client ID, it is auto generated. When this form opens, it will auto generate a client ID. And then the client secret, it's like a username and password for an API. Like you have a username and password to log in. Similar way, for an API, you have a client ID and client secret. As per the OAuth standards, open authentication standard, it creates a client ID, it creates a client secret. Now it says leave client secret blank to automatically generate a string. Okay, you can type your own thing, but better to leave it blank. Okay. After that, there is something called redirect URL. That means, for example, I wanted to get some incidents that is created. Okay, it'll get it for you, but where would you like to send it back? Redirect URL. So this redirect URL is important. So click on this button and it is asking you provide a redirect URL for your UiPath application. It doesn't know, right, which application, where to send and all. So you have to provide something here. How do you get it? Remember, I have asked you to open the documentation. In this documentation of ServiceNow connector, the second option, ServiceNow authentication, click on this. So once you click on this page, until now, all the steps that we have done, it has been described here. You remember, we went to the plugins to check the status, plugins and check the status, it is active or not. And we went to application registry and clicked on new, where we are at the moment. So it is asking for a callback or redirection URL. Okay, so here this is the URL. Remember, this URL has a dot at the end. That's a full stop for every point. So what you do, simply copy until here. Do not copy the full stop. Okay, so in case it is getting copied, no worries. Simply remove it while you are entering it here. So let me paste it. Okay, so there is no dot here. You see callback. So done. So I have entered the redirect URL for UiPath. So it understands where it should communicate to, right? So cloud.uipath.com. So once this is done, there's nothing much to make any kind of changes here. All you have to do is simply hit on submit. Okay. Now what happened? You have registered the UiPath application with that URL, and there is a client ID and client secret got created. Now what you do, click on this UiPath integration once again. So if you click here, you would see the client ID, and to see the client secret, simply click on this button. And here you have a client secret get auto generated. What I'm going to do, I'll go to the integration service where it is asking for the client ID, site URL and client secret. Let's enter that. Sometime, because I've kept it open from a long time, it is a good practice to close it and reopen that button once again. You can see create connection timeout. There's a timeout happened. So let me reopen it once again. So I'll first type ServiceNow and mind which folder you are doing this. It will be available for that folder. And let me hit on connect to ServiceNow. Okay, the very first thing, let us enter the site URL. So how do you get this site URL? This is my instance, which has my own number, dev1, like that you would have your own number. So I'm going to copy until the forward mark. Copy that. I'll go here and paste. Done. Now how do I enter the client ID? Again, the client ID is here. Copy this and paste it. Then where do you get the client secret? That is also here in the application registration. Copy this, paste it. Done. If all has been done properly, if you hit on connect, it should connect within no time. It is asking me to allow UiPath integration would like to connect to your ServiceNow account on instance dev 164787. That is my instance number 164787. So here you go here and say allow. Pretty simple steps. Okay. Your integration. Okay. It's all done. Let's go back. And here you can see the connection status says connected. That means I am now connected to my ServiceNow instance. Okay. So let's do a couple of things just to understand. Okay. Connection has been made. What next? Let's build a small project on UiPath Studio. Now by default, if you go to activities and simply type ServiceNow, you might see all of these activities. In case you don't see it, don't worry, go to manage packages, go to official and simply type ServiceNow. And here look for the activity which is compatible with the cloud. Okay, so here you can see ServiceNow. This version requires the automation cloud integration service. So this is for the integration service. So I have already installed it. You can go ahead and install it. Okay, in case it is not available on your studio. All right. So once the activities are present, what is the first thing you would like to do? I would like to create an incident. So for that, look for the activity which says create new incident. Let me drag and drop this activity. Create new incident. Okay. Now what is happening here? It is automatically trying to collect the ServiceNow instance. If you see default 20 something has come, right? So it understood that using integration service, your UiPath account is connected to ServiceNow. So it is the moment you drag and drop, the first thing it is doing, it is trying to see if there is any connection available. So it found under the IT department projects in orchestrator integration service, in the integration service, there's already a connector created, which is absolutely correct. If I go back, you can see under the IT department, if I go to HR department, there is no such connections. But if I go to IT department projects, I can see there's a ServiceNow connection already built. And there's a connection, some number is coming, right? 202402212T. So, and the instance number, the time and the instance number is there. So the same thing is automatically getting pulled here in the UiPath Studio. Now the concept is clear. Great. Now what happens, because it is a developer instance, it's a free instance, it has got certain history of your callers. If it is a production instance, you would have your own database of users from where the names would automatically appear. So they have given certain names. Let us select one of the name. Okay. So my job is to create a new incident. So I've selected the caller name or the customer name, and then short description. I'll give some short description. Let's say I will say test with automate with Rakesh. Okay, testing integration, description, and urgency I would say low, and the impact I will say low. This is how you create a ITSM ticket, right? IT service management ticket. So here I have created a new incident. I have filled the form. Okay, once the incident is created, I want to get that incident number. For that, what you do, create a variable here and simply say incident number. Hit enter. Okay, so this is mostly a string variable. You can see it's a string variable. All right, so our connection is built. Everything is set. We are connected. Now I'm just using an activity, and this activity is supposed to create an incident in my ServiceNow. So how do you find the incident? Let me first show you. You go to all in ServiceNow and type incidents and click on this. So here I only have set of numbers. What you do, this certain filters are applied. You see, there's something called all here. Click on all. Then you would see all your incidents until now what I've created is listed. What I will do, I'll go to my UiPath Studio and let us run this. Okay, so the automation has started and this task is getting executed. So what happened? The execution is complete. Okay, we have used a incident number variable, but we didn't print it. We will print that next time. Let's see it now. So what happened here? If I refresh this, you can see test with automate with Rakesh has come. Now if I'm going to open this particular link, okay, if I open this particular link, you can see all the details has been filled in the ServiceNow incident form. Whatever details I have entered, for example, urgency I have entered low, test with automate with Rakesh, testing with integration, like that, all the entries have come. Now let us do one thing. What we will do, we haven't got that output, what incident number got created. Let me click on this and use a log message. Okay, and here in the log message, let us use that variable that we have created, incident number, so that we can see what is the incident number got created. Now let's do one small thing. Here I am going to change the test one. I'll change the description slightly, short description slightly in a different way. Test integration 1, 2, 3. All right, now let us run it again. This time we will be able to see the incident number that got created on ServiceNow. If you click on the output, what is the incident number? INC ending with 011. Now let's go back to ServiceNow. And in the ServiceNow, let me go back here. And here you can see 011 got created and the short description also has changed. So like that, in Studio, there are multiple activities for ServiceNow. You can experiment with all these activities. Once you know how to use one of them, rest of the things also will be quite easy for you to test and understand. Next thing I would like to show you. All right, you know how to build a project now using these activities with ServiceNow. On the ServiceNow application, you can build a UiPath automation project. All right, all fine. How about if something happens on ServiceNow? Let's say somebody has created an incident here. If they're creating an incident, I would like to start an automation. If an incident is getting created, I would like to start the automation. How that can be done? All right. So for that, what we will do, we'll go back to integration service. We have to create a trigger. Let's click on trigger and click on add trigger, and let's type ServiceNow. And here automatically the connection has appeared. After that, if you click on this drop down, there are multiple such events that you can subscribe to. Incident getting created, incident getting updated, incident task created, incident task updated, record created. So like that, multiple different subscription you can apply for. So I'm going for incident created. If an incident is created, the automation of mine should automatically start. So I've selected the event as incident created. Let me select an automation. So I've created a simple automation called quick testing in IT department project folder in my orchestrator. So I will select that particular process, quick testing. Now here I would select the runtime license. It is saying 0 runtime 0. So I will click on this first and select production unattended. Then you can see one runtime available, one connected. So my robot is connected. So automatically it is going to show you. So once this is all done, all you do, click on add trigger. Okay, so now the trigger is created. Next, one more thing I would suggest you click here because we are doing a testing. I'll go to this folder. I'll click on connections. I'll open this connection. And here there's a time checking for the event every 5 minutes. I will change it to 1 minute for testing purpose. And click on update and check. Okay, successfully updated polling interval. Polling means every 1 minute is going to check in ServiceNow whether a new incident got created or not. Okay, if it getting created, then the process that I've tagged, it will automatically start. What we will do, because this trigger is already active, we'll go to ServiceNow and create an incident here. I'll create new and I'm going to type certain things. For example, test 12. And I'm going to say test 12, all done. And I'm going to simply hit on submit. Okay, caller name, let me select something and submit. So now the test 12 got created. Now because this integration service is active, you will see within no time that automation will kickstart. Okay, wait for a few seconds. Okay, you can see within a matter of 1 minute, it started running that automation. I just have one message box in that, which is testing successful. All right, so you have learned a lot many things here. So let's recap what we have done. We have opened the ServiceNow card, and then we have opened a new account in ServiceNow. We have seen that. And also we have seen how do you build the connection by entering the client ID, client secret, and how do you get the client ID, client secret, how do you add UiPath in the application registration, all that we have seen, and we have built the connection. And also we have seen different activities and how to use that. We have created an incident using this activity. We also have seen how to enable a trigger, and we see after the trigger how it ran an automation that we have tagged, right? So all of these things that we have covered in this video, I hope this might have added a lot of things to your knowledge bank. If so, if this video was helpful, please do give it a like and do share with your friends who would like to learn. Thank you guys for watching. Let's meet once again in our next video.